Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Tim Fielder, Dieselfunk Dispatch. Back again today for another day of mayhem and chaos and things. That's what we got going today. Had a little feedback because I've been going over how I utilize AI in my work. Again, I recognize that it's a tricky thing for a lot of folks because hey, AI is can either be Skynet or it can be the movie with Robin Williams with the robot. It could be benign or malevolent, right? But that's at its most extreme. What I'm dealing with now and showcasing is not how AI is going to be a weapon. It is how it can be used as a tool. It can be used as a tool for traditional artists. I'm not concerned about people who just AI prompters. I don't care anything about that. That's not my concern. I'm not a prompt jockey. I don't. I know a little bit of AI in terms of the software programs I've been using, but I do not. I don't use 1,500 pieces of software. I use two, three. I use Chat GPT roughly. Like my wife and I were at the grocery store the other day and we were about to buy a plant. She had the urge to buy a plant. And I asked Chat, I took a picture of it. I said, Chat GPT, what kind of plant is this? And it identified the plant. And then I said, is it safe for cats? And it turned out it was toxic for cats. So that's what Chat GPT is being used for me. It also, however, can write scripts, for better or worse. I don't use it to write scripts. Script writing for me is a dramatically easier thing to do than, because it's one thing to write a script. It's a completely separate thing to draw a script. That's a different animal. But I do see its usages. Its usage. However, what is it? I did use Chat. Well, it was Manus and Chat GPT to write a calendar or scheduling software for graphic novel production. It's a little wonky, and maybe one day I'll do it and I'll get it working right and I'll upload it for you guys. I designed it so that it can work for a Mac, but I suppose I can compile it to work for a PC. But that's neither here nor there. Primarily, the software programs I use are VizCom. I did use a program called Doodle AI. Software programmer Vlad is awesome, but not as much development going on with that now. So I've moved on to VizCom. I don't really use Midjourney. I used to have a license. I don't use general AI software, imaging software programs. I use VizCom primarily because it's used in product design and concept design. So people like Scott Robertson and concept designers for film use it. And that is meaning it's a generic style that is used so you can do a paint over on top of it. It's like your output looks like a variant of 3D, which is what I'm looking for, but with shadows and radiosity and radiosity and ambient occlusion, all those type of things. It looks really, really incredible. And I like to have that as a base that I can paint on top of, or go with as normal. So that tends to be what I can do. Okay, we're having a slight technical issue here. That's what I thought. Let me see if I can get this guy here worked out. There we go. What is going on there? We have our first technical issue of the day. Okay, and go to main talk. We're going to go to straight ahead, and straight ahead is what's acting up. I know what we need to do. It'd probably be helpful if I actually connect it to the phone. There we go. We're learning. We're getting better with this. Getting better with it. At least I diagnosed that problem pretty quickly. All right. So VizCom is what I use. I use Runway ML for animation, although I have used Kling. I guess I'll quickly show a sample here. Let me go to Photoshop. This will be good here. This is for the Black Prince project I'm working on, but I got I had a hankering to do some stuff this morning because myself and my twin brother have a film company. We've been working on that stuff forever, and I think it'll be interesting to show you guys what I've been doing. So here's Photoshop. Again, huge shout out to the Adobe folks. You know, they've made very powerful software that has really changed the game. Okay, so you guys remember this shot here. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to go here, turn that off. So you guys remember this, right? You remember that. That's drawn normally. I drew that in Clip Studio Paint, as you can see here. It's just a regular drawing. The only thing that I traced and kind of used as a reference on this was the carriage, which I showed you guys how to do that yesterday, and the horse. I used it as a rough thing, but I modified it. Everything else, you can see here at close up, is like really sketchy, right? So I work like a matte painter when I'm working. My work is designed generally to be looked at from a distance, right? And that works quite well. However, I think one of the things that is quite fascinating is how the software takes your drawing, and like here, these are the 3 renders I chose from VizCom. See that? See what it's doing? Let's zoom into that so you guys can see. See that? So it's using my drawing through edge detection, right? And it's basically adding elements to it that are quite nice. I like that. That one's pretty good. Right? We'll zoom here a little bit more. We'll zoom out. Then we had this one here. That one's pretty good too. Right? What I love about this is that this image here, it uses the, let me take this right here. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to move this above here, or let's turn that off here. We'll move it above here so you guys can see it a little bit closer. So you'll see this line here on this tree trunk. See that line work on the tree trunk? All that stuff, right? That comes from this. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why you use this software is because effectively what it's going to be doing is to take your drawings and add rendering and light and texture to it, right? Now, is it cheating? Hell yeah, it's cheating. Hell yeah, it's cheating. Just like the copy paste Jack Kirby used entire photos behind his work. Every artist that has a brain uses reference. People use photo reference. Alex Ross uses props and things like that. So there's nothing wrong with using reference. Also, there are artists out there who use 3D models. Craig Mullins, I call him the god of concept design, of digital concept design. You know, Craig Mullins' work for decades has done nothing but paint overs of 3D models, right? As far back as 25, 30 years this guy's been doing it. And how did he get like that? He got like that. He knew the basics, the fundamentals of drawing and painting, but he did, when he began to integrate concept design into what he was doing, that took his work to a new level, because you get in 3D, you get if you add lights to a 3D scene, you get your lighting, shading, and perspective and proportions and your compositions for free. That's what it was great about. Now, if you have even a medium understanding of digital rendering and painting, then you will know it's all about speed and time. Now, of the 3 images, this is the one I chose. I liked all of them were great, but the one I went with was this one here. That's the one. And I went with it because I'm from the Mississippi Delta, and I felt like the trees were high, but they were not that high. You could see the backland a little bit like that, right? And so this is why, in fact, there are different variants of styles that I would use here. Let me make sure while I'm talking here, checking my, checking my comments, checking the comment list. And also, by the way, if there's anyone who has questions, they want to ask any questions regarding, this type of thing, please feel free to comment. I'll be totally fine with answering any questions that you guys might have. Let me just turn this off there. Okay, there we go. All right, so I have my comments list open here. It appears that that Facebook and Mail Studio only play so well together. So what I have to do is have a separate window open. But I think I can see the comments here, so that's good. And I think we're all right here. Let's see, what is this here? We're going to leave that for right now. Whoops. What did I do there? Did I just screw up something? I think I just screwed up something. What did I screw up? Oh my God. Yes, I did. It's amazing. You're talking, you got everything together, and boom, suddenly. That's what happens. All right, let's go here. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. All right. I should be back now. Okay. All right. So again, if you guys have anything you want to ask me, AI. All right. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's people like this guy. This is my best friend, who has decided to chime in and give his opinion. He says AI is the devil. And I'm going to reply to him by saying, all hail Satan. Because he decided he wanted to make a joke, and I'm throwing it back in his face. Anyway. So yes. So we do have the chat working. I'm glad people are looking in here. So I have these graphics here, right? All right, cool. All right, so what? So we got graphics here. I'm going to go to YouTube here. It's a little too quiet in here. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm waiting for my regular porn connection. I'm going to say, hey. All right, we got that there. All right, so we're sending messages. Okay, so we're good. Yeah, I think we should be good to YouTube. Okay. All right. So we have this image here. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty awesome there. Yeah, that's quite alarming, how good that looks. Well, let me show you what I did here. So just playing around, just goofing around. We're going to now switch to Safari. Just so you guys know, obviously, I'm Tim Fielder, the owner and creator of Dieselfunk Studios, New York City-based company. I'm a visual Afrofuturist and graphic novelist and filmmaker, apparently. And I do different projects. This is my latest project, Dieselfunk Dispatch, which allows me, instead of trying to produce something, a weekly blog, which I think probably would have been fun. I like the everyday thing because you guys know, anyone who knows me knows that I talk a lot, probably talk a little bit too much, and that's okay. But this is what I do. And yeah, that's cool. However, I use a program called VizCom. I told you guys about VizCom. So look at this. This, you all remember that thing from yesterday? Look at this. Right? This is what AI is great for. It's fantastic for that. Right? But let's go back to our workplace here. And remember, I had this one here. Look at this. So you all remember this image here, right? I just showed you that. So with output the render, I might go through and show you guys how I did other stuff, but that's neither here nor there. Watch this. I dragged and dropped this image cropped into this. I'm going to show you something. The most, sometimes I'm a little bit nervous about showing this because I think people are going to get really alarmed by it. But look at this. So it took my drawing, and this is what it did. Okay? Let's zoom into that. Can we zoom into that? Geez, I don't know if we can. Let's zoom back out. Sorry. Let's see. Can we open that up there? I don't know if we can. No, there's no way to open it up big. I don't think. Oh, wait. Or is that no? That's running faster there. Wow. Hey, in fact, it ran that fast. It looks like it has a little shake in there. That's pretty good. Anyway, so you guys can see that right there. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. But what does this mean? All right, so I'm sure eventually there are going to be some filmmakers or something like that who look at this. Keep in mind that started all of that. All of that started from that. That's a regular drawing. There's nothing unique about that. You know, I used a 3D model to trace this, right? But outside of that, there is zero unique about this. People do this every day. They do it every day, right? That's all they do. It ain't no big thing, right? But then I began to play around. It gave me different options. And the options I chose was that one, right? Once I output that I did imported it into this. Now I had to once I put it in, I did write a written prompt to kind of like tell it what to do, right? If this can produce this, and you don't have $500,000, $1,000,000, $200,000, you don't have that, then in what world is it somehow appropriate that you as an artist starve because you can't get work done? You can't get the stories out that are in your head because somehow to use this technology to get your stories out, that's seen as a bad thing. That's bad. So everyone has an iPhone, right? So it's never been easier than ever to make a movie. In fact, the latest 28 days, 28 years later movie was all shot with iPhone, right? So it's okay for Danny Boyle to use an iPhone, but it's not cool for a filmmaker to use it. They have to go out and buy a red camera or buy some expensive 8K camera, which that's fine. I have siblings that all own. I'll tell you. About 8 years ago, I lost a red camera. I lost a $70,000 red camera. My oldest brother was shooting. I was on the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, and I ended up leaving it in a cab. And thank God they recovered it. Thank God to Haile Garima and my brother Art. Right? But needless to say, that was the end of my traditional film career. Right? But anyway, I digress. The point is that it is very possible. It is not magic to create this work because the tools are there. The tools are there now to do it. We would have to spend millions of dollars to recreate this in real life, to get a plantation. In fact, plantations have been burning down lately, right? To get a plantation, to get a carriage operator, to get the camera crew out on location. Here, you can now shoot it. But again, this is not me just writing a prompt. This is something that is built up from my drawing and then enhanced with my drawing. You can even edit with the illustration tools in VizCom, but I didn't use that. Maybe I'll do it a little bit today, right? So that's the key. That's the thing that I need you guys to understand. You should attack and absorb these tools into your skill set. I believe you should. Are there ethical issues? Of course there are ethical issues. But there's going to be a bigger issue if you can't get your work out. Now, this is what I'm hearing. A lot of people are saying, well, these tools are being used to make the conglomerates richer. Well, there's no question that there are a handful specifically, maybe, there's a ton of AI software out there, but there's only a few like massively successful companies or massively successful finance companies that are AI. Microsoft, OpenAI, all those companies. Okay, great. Those companies are going to make money for sure. But Disney's got a problem. Why does Disney have a problem? I'm some black guy who lives in New York City, right? I'm a working graphic novelist. Yes, I have had several books come out, but my books have never made the New York Times bestsellers list. I'm not that guy. I'm a working journeyman cartoonist graphic novelist. I have been fortunate because simultaneously, while graphic novels have risen in form, Afrofuturism has risen in form. So what that's done, it's allowed me, I'm going to shut this down here now. What it's allowed me to do is it's allowed me, my career, to have multiple streams. I can do graphic novels and do graphic novels about Afrofuturism. That's a great thing for me because these visuals I've had for decades about brothers and sisters or people of color and spaceships and speculative scenarios, now they're not just trapped in my head. Now I can get them out, right? Being able to do that and adopting technology into my skill set 30 years ago. So I started drawing in the computer. The last purely analog graphic novel I did was 1994. I was for Marvel Comics, a Dr. Dre graphic novel that was never published, right? By 97, 98, I had moved to digital because I had transferred out of the comic book industry into my first job, a digital animation job, was with a animation house called No Bone Studios. No longer there. Jim Alabiso, Kurt and Quinn, I love you both. They changed my life, right? I learned 3ds Max. I did not learn Maya. As a result, I was cut out of getting work for use with Maya, which was the industry standard. I learned it well enough to where I could get what I needed from Max, right? But I paid a price, right? And that field, the visual effects field, particularly back then, I imagine it's even more extreme now, but back then, you only got work through people you knew, right? It was a network. You drink about it. I don't drink, so, and I'm socially awkward, so I was screwed from the beginning. But I did a crap load of teaching, right? But I always had those stories in my head, and it was frustrating. So when I finally got Infinitum out, right, that you guys should go and buy from where all popular books are sold, right? I was finally able to get that story in my head that was out, right? I was finally able to get those things out. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful scenario. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful opportunity to be able to do that. I'm so grateful that I could do that. Additionally, there's an entire section of artists who, frankly, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. They're upset that they won't get work from Disney or from Pixar or any animation house. And I'm going to say this, and it's probably better that I say it. If you are in, and I'm going to get to drawing soon because you guys didn't just have me coming here today just to rant. If you are depending upon making your living from being in the service sector of the visual industry, you are treading on very thin ice, right? Let me repeat again. If you want your career to be part of the service sector, that's anyone who does visual development for studio films, anyone who does storyboarding for visual for studio films, anyone who cinematographers, gaffers, if you're basing your career on providing services, you can do it, but it's dicier now because you don't need 600 people to do these things anymore. In certain cases, like with animation, frankly, you don't need 60. You need 6. And I'm being generous by saying 6. You really need 3. You need 3. And they don't even have to work together in the same room. That's what it is. You all saw this animation I had up here. You all saw what it can do, right? If I can see what it can do, and now you can see what it can do, don't you think those people out in the C-suites of those studios see this? This is not just a danger to us as artists. This is a danger to the entire entertainment industry, traditional entertainment industry. Because what it's saying is that this is the equivalent of the automobile for film and animation production. It's going to change everything. It is changing everything. And if I did that, that means anybody can do it. I didn't even pay for that. I'm just using the free credits from Runway. It's not like, I got to be careful how many renders I put out, right? But, to get the full-on version where you get, like, unlimited renders, $100 a month. For some people, that's a lot of money. But for the average Joe, that's nothing to make your movie, to make your short. So, anyway, I'm rambling. I apologize if I offended anyone. But like I say, it's better I do it than someone else. Okay. Since I heard myself, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I'm going to go back to Photoshop here. So we're in Photoshop. Been using Clip Studio Paint a lot lately. We're going to go to Photoshop here. And again, I love that. And I'm going to go here. The last thing I'm going to show you here is this. No, not that one. Not that one. That's bad. Bad. We're going to go to Brother Robo. I don't know. We want this one? Okay, this is the one. Okay, so check it out. So this is for this concept I have that I'm doing called Brother Robo. I want to do action adventure. I'm thinking about doing it as a graphic novel or a picture book. Basically, giant robots and young black kids, middle graders. That's what I want, right? So check this out. So this is that image colored. Okay, we see that? That's that image colored. So I want to try something here. Let's go back to... So these are drones, by the way, just so you know. That image, this here is drawn with a regular ink pen in Photoshop. There is nothing magical about it, right? You can see it. I could always draw the kids better, but that's it. I wanted to do, some young black kids in the school uniforms. My sons used to go to Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx, and they wore the gray pants, the white shirts. Their colors were burgundy, but this here I'll make it blue, right? There we go. Pretty cool. Okay, but I want to try something here. Let's do this. Let's go to back to VizCom, so we can go to Safari. All right, there's Safari, and we're gonna go up here. There we go, and we're gonna go back to VizCom. So let's create a new. Go here to Workspace. Back to Workspace. We're gonna create a new file. Start in Studio. And we're going to upload an image. But what image am I going to upload this time? I think I have it here. Let's see if I got it. Let's see if I got it, man. See if I got it. Yes. We're going to go here. I'm going to drag and drop that there. Okay, so we got our image, right? We've got our giant robot. Okay? Everyone see what's going on? So it says here, because it generates a written prompt based upon what it's seeing, it's saying two people dropping from a giant smiling Lego-like robot wearing blue and red clothing, right, with dynamic action pose and movement lines. All right, I'm going to change this. We got some racial stuff here. AI has a great difficulty uh, 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 differentiating racial groups. So we're going to say two African American, let me put a dash there so it won't be confused. American kids are standing on the shoulders of a giant smiling Lego-like robot. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say two African American kids wearing blue and gray school uniforms are standing of a giant shoulder, yeah, right? Robot with red and gray armor. Period. Camera moves along with, I'm going to say with dynamic action. I like that. And movement lines. I'm going to say two African American kids wearing blue are standing on the blah, 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 with red and gray, flying through the air. Camera moves along with dynamic action poses and movement lines. I'm going to make this a sunny day, cinematic, realistic. All right, I'm going to put a period behind that. Here we go. Let's see what happens. So it's rendering. Oh, that looks interesting. I already see something that looks interesting. I don't know about the face. The face might, oh, it's red. I didn't want that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I do not like that. I do not like that. I think that is not my favorite. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, well, the lighting is good. The lighting is good. Lighting is good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Look at that. Hold on. They're going to say a giant uh, 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 what a giant robot with a yellow LED smiley face and red and gray armor flying through the air. All right, let's try it again. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, boys and girls. Oh, we can see the yellow popping in there. That's coming back. That's coming back. Oh, nice. Oh, but it did something to the boy's head there. Oh, that's good. That's interesting. Look at that. But oh, wow. Look at that. I like this one here. That one's pretty good. But I'm not liking, let's get rid of that. 2 African American kids. Let's generate one more time. I don't like that so much. Because it turned one kid, the kid up front's head, into a kind of Ghost Rider head. But here's the thing that you see it's not an exact science, and that's okay. That is okay. I really love the robot there. Oh, I love the lighting on that one. So we're going to add this. This one, I'm going to add that one too. That one, no. That one, sort of yes. I'm going to add that, right? Now, so this is not bad. So I could save these and output them now. I could save these and output them now. But let me do one thing here. I'm going to create a new layer. Right? I could create a new layer. And I could, what else could I do? When I create the new layer, I like the stuff here. That's interesting. There's some interesting elements in all of it. So I'm just very quickly just show you guys what I'm going to do here. Let's take this one here, right? And actually, let's move this up. Let's get this. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to duplicate all of these guys. I'm going to select them one after the other. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen here. And this might be a little tedious because you can do some stuff in Photoshop that's pretty good. I love the way this looks here, but let me just see what I can do. Can I duplicate this? Yes, I can. So I duplicated that image. I'm going to take that down. I'm going to duplicate this image, move this up here, right? Turn that one off. And then I'm going to do this one. I'm going to take this guy here. Yeah, that one. Oops. That one looks pretty good too. And I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to move that up. There we go. So we got these 3 images here. So let me move this around here a little bit. There we go. So I can draw a little bit more effectively. All right. So I'm going to just move this screen here. I'm going to blow this screen up a little bit so I can see a little bit better. And let me now eliminate the macho and put on my reading glasses here because I can't see as well as I used to. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Something about that I like. Let's see. We can go here and here. And keep in mind, these 3 images all kind of correlate. You see that distortion that went there in the head? That's not good. But there is something there that I like. There is something there that I like. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take my pen here. And I'm going to erase. I'm going to erase right in here. I'm going to make that point bigger. Right? Because I like the rendering on him there. Right? But I needed to get rid of that weird kind of stuff on it. Okay, that's pretty good. And you'll see what I'm going to do here in a moment. So I got that one up. Now I'm going to turn this one on. On this one right here, I really love the skin of the robot. So here's what I'm doing. And I like the helmet too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to erase. Whoops. I'm going to erase here now. Yep. See what's happening? So what I'm doing here is I'm taking away the parts of this stuff that I don't like. Here. Go here. Okay, that might be interesting. Let's go back here. Okay, that's not bad. All right. Now, then I got this one here. This one I don't like at all, but I'm not that opposed to the sky and stuff. So for right now, we're good there. And also, this is one of the things I could do. I could go here, take my brush. Now, using this kind of technique here, I'm going to just do a color selection by holding down Option. See what I'm doing? So I can actually paint in VizCom. That's one of the really powerful things about this software program. I mean, rudimentary drawing tools, they could be so much better, but they're going to get there. They're going to get there. And there are other tools, other sections here, like the reference tools that I need to dig more in. But VizCom, I find, has just been an incredibly powerful tool because, again, we are doing illustration work with this. And you still got to draw, ladies and gentlemen. There's no escaping the drawing. Yes, certain things are easier, but there's no escaping the drawing. You got to do it. You got to get in there. You got to get dirty, right? That's what it is. No escape, right? So you see what's happening there? That looks pretty good there, right? Here, I could actually go in here if I wanted to. And I say, you know what? I think this needs to be a little bit gray. Yeah, you guys can see what I'm doing. Not the, again, they got to do better with the drawing tools. There's no question of that. No question of that. But you can see here, watch this. So this is great. I started using VizCom, I guess, a few years back. Pretty good stuff. I started using it last year, and it really changed the game. Again, I use a program called VizCom to start. I mean, Doodle AI to start. Doodle AI did some really early stuff for me that was, still changed the game. Also, I'm going to do this one thing here. I'm going to go here. Oops. All right, now this may work, it may not work, but we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to do a little selection here. Whoops. Bring that point down. Okay, that's kind of weird because we're getting near that dead pixel section of my tablet. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're good there. Now, even though this may not work, I now want to generate another render. And that render will be based on everything that it can see here, right? So I turn that off, see? What's happening? How these things are kind of like coming together. So I can take this. I like that red thing here. So I can go here and I can eliminate. I can eat. Well, the red there is good. Blue there is good. I like the red stripes on there. So I'm going to do this. Whoops. Let's choose eraser. 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 Whoops. See? Okay, that's good. Got that. All right. Let's generate. Let's see what happens. Probably not going to be that much better, but it's a start. Okay, we got something happening here. We got something happening. interesting. It really took some aggressive changes here. And this is where we could adjust the strength and so on. Right here, the reference is good. Oh, look at the eyes there. Look what it did there with the glowy eyes. I don't like that one, though. I don't like that one. And I don't like that one. And I do not like. Oh, that's hot there. Look at that. All right, now. So with this, I'm gonna click add here because I like the way the young lady is colored there on the other end. So now, if I want, I can save this and I can say BR Twins Fly. So we got that. And with this, just like yesterday, I can go and I can now save this and export as a PSD. Some things in this I like, some things in it I don't like. Do one more time here. Make sure I downloaded that. There we go. Also, another cool thing that VizCom has in it is you can export video. This also does animation as well. I haven't really gone into the animation features yet. But, I mean, obviously, if this could be animated, that would be simply incredible. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see how it's rocking. We're going to see. We're going to see how it's rocking, baby. All right? All right, so that is exporting that video. I'm going to leave that for now. We're going to go back to this. So I'm wearing my glasses because I can't see as well anymore. That's what happens when you get a little bit older. So these are tools that are very robust, and these are the type of things that we have to begin to consider incorporating into our workflow. That's just what it is. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You know, again, it's better that I say it because ultimately what can happen is, you know, people can accept whether or not this is something that they're going to feel comfortable with in their own lives or not, and that's okay. Um, but it is indeed a powerful, powerful tool. So I'm gonna stop on this for right now. I'm just gonna go here and actually move this back into. Oops, there we go. Put that back into place. We don't have to go back to this VizCom at this point because I think I've shown all I need to show here. And I could draw some more on that, but I got other work I had to do today. So I think I spent enough time on that. However, just for kicks, I will show this. Just for kicks. Just for kicks. All right, let's go here. Let's see if I can go to bridge. Can I go to bridge? Hold on. All right. So let's see here. So we got this right here, and I really think this concept would be awesome. I love the idea of two twins. Both of them were robotic arms, and they have a robotic sibling who is their brother, and it's called Brother Robo. I love that idea. I think the concept is dope. But that's just me talking, right? All right, at any rate. So just to show you guys a little bit of what I was redrawing this again here. So this is my line work. I did a kind of a tone here. Let me just go here to Photoshop, or is that clip? Yeah, it's Photoshop. So I did this. I got that. I did a tone there because I thought that would be interesting. As a kid's thing, I know that's pretty intense. But I think kids would be into it. Just like the robot is flying to the rescue in the kind of stormy weather. Um, then I put a little light overlay to make it a little bit brighter, right? Because we didn't want it to be totally dark. Yeah. And we had a little stuff here. Then we went with a little thing there, and that didn't work out so well. But these are the things that I'm doing. Let me see if I should turn off. Yes, I think I'm going to turn off. Oh, that's great. That is great. But I think it's a little bit too much there. Don't y'all think? Or I can reduce the opacity down. Let's reduce the opacity down. Let's reduce. There we go. That's at 57%. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that, right? But let's see what happens here if I just go in and let's see what happens if I add in overlays, highlights. And I can do dodge and burn too. I can do dodge and burn. But I don't think I want to do dodge and burn just yet. But let's see. Let's go here. I'm going to take this here and I'm going to grab this tool. All right, you guys can see my. And you know, the thing is, when you got so many applications open like I do, you know, you got to be careful with this stuff because it'll really bog your machine down. Okay. All right. Here's my brother's bringing to my attention that I am not streaming to the appropriate. I'm not. There we go. We're going to turn on that. I'm sorry. I'll click here. Dieselfunk dispatch. Okay. Huh. I don't know what's happening here and why chat is not enabled. It's because I screwed up on that. But for right now, we're going to leave that alone. We'll get it there. I'm not going to be trying to resolve this kind of tech issue in the middle of a stream. Okay. Anyway, so we'll go back here. I'll take my mouse and start doing some more drawing here. So we're going to take this. I like that. I like that. I love that kind of grunge look to it. All right. Yeah, see that sluggishness. That's a lot, and I think it's because this machine here, it's having its day. Don't save that. Yep, that is sluggish. That's what happens when you keep the machine open for a long period of time. Whoops. Take this. Okay. All right. So these are the type of things that I can do. And with a little dodge and burn, I can make some things pretty good. A little smudge tool here. Reduce that down to size. Yeah. There we go. All right, let's try a little bit in here. All right, not terrible. And I could draw faster if I had rebooted my machine, but I was, you know, I've been trying reluctant to turn some of the stuff down here. Go here. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Not the worst. The absolute worst in the world. Put it here. It looks like weird now, but it will be okay. It shall be okay. All right. There we go. Okay. All righty. So that's pretty good. A little weird, but it's all right. A little weird, but it's okay. And I, of course, could go over the kids a little bit. But I'm just taking a quick detour here because I was curious as to what this might look like. And also, there's something I want to experiment, I want to do here. Probably doesn't matter all that much, but I'm just doing it. And by the way, there's a little lag on here, so I'm definitely going to have to reboot my machine overnight so that it can be a little bit free. There we go. Adobe Photoshop really has it grown as an illustration program. Of course, I don't consider it to be on the same level as Clip Studio Paint for illustration, for manual illustration, but obviously for image manipulation and really, frankly, a lot of graphic design work. Photoshop is unparalleled. It just really is. There's no other way to kind of call it for what it is. Photoshop is an essential program. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like the subscription model, but I find that it's you know I pay for VizCom, I pay for Photoshop because I have to, because that's how I make, literally how I earn my living. Oh, let's keep going there. There we go. Literally how I earn my living, so we got to pay for it, because that's the world we live in. For a graphic designer and for a graphic novelist, it's like this is what It's like paying a light bill. You got to have electricity. For my business, you got to have internet access, so no one ever thinks about, oh well, we don't need the internet. You gotta pay your internet bill. Okay. Now, so we got that. It's not terrible. I think that's enough. Now we're gonna go here to view a filter. We're gonna blur just a little bit. That's good. Maybe. Yep, that's good. And I want to go here and I'm gonna set this to overlay. There we go. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, now I would have to go in and do some work with the kids here, but I love that. I think that is very, very, very cool. That's very cool. However, I want to do one thing here. Do one thing. I'm going to import this other thing in just to see if I can play with a little bit of stuff. Just see if I can play with a little bit of stuff, man. So recent. We're going to go to downloads. We're going to go to the image we have today that we were working on in VizCom not long ago. There it is. BR Twins Fly. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to open that up in Photoshop. Right. So that's some of this stuff again is wackadocious. It is crazy. Right. I don't know if I'll use that. I don't know. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if I'll use that. I don't know if I'll use that. But I love the way the robot's metal is rendered there. That's really awesome there. But this one right here might be the best look. Let's see. Let's go through it again. Interesting. So that's interesting. Let's see. Let's turn that off. You know what? There's something about this I like. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do Command C. And this is going to be a weird experiment here. We're going to now go underneath this to Command V. We're going to go here. We're going to try to move this stuff into place. I don't know if it's going to work. It probably won't, but that's okay. It's okay if it doesn't work. Now, I don't know for sure, but I think my dad might be watching tonight. I'm not sure. Yes, man, this is what happens when you refuse to keep your kids from drawing from when you let them draw too much. Sorry. Anyway, so that's kind of interesting. But what we're going to do here is we're going to set this to lighten. Oh, that's interesting. See what it did? See what it did there? What if we go to soft light? That's interesting. What if we go to hard mix? Ugh, well, wow, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Can't say it's not interesting. Go to vivid light. Oh, that's really interesting. Let's take that and bump that down. That's, I mean, just all kinds of stuff you could do. See how it's changing? Okay, let's try vivid light's too much, obviously. We can go to linear dodge here. And right now, this is set to 26. Oh, wow, look at that. I kind of like that lighting that it adds on there. See the gradients that go from that into the drawing? It's just nice, nice effects that it can add. I mean, I wouldn't want to stick with the characters colored that way, but this just kind of interesting. Anyway, let's save that for now. And as a quick treat for you guys here, I also this is one page of my brother Robo concept, and I think you might enjoy seeing this. So obviously, you have the hold on, you have this here, but you have the kind of let's multiply. We're going to go to normal. All right. Turn that off. So I played with this a little bit, right? This is the robot going. There's a tsunami hitting the city here. We're going to go here to multiply. And I did the rendering before. And it came up with this. Isn't that crazy? But the one thing it did was it made the waves kind of too green. Even though that's kind of cool. But look at this version. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Look at that. And for a kid's book, I mean, if I would have saw that as a middle grader, I would have lost my mind. I would have like this. I want this, and this allows you to do very quick coloring. That's simple, but over cartoon drawings, it just takes it to the next level. It really, really, truly does. And I think it's something. that you guys might consider. I'm certainly using it. Anyway, enough of that. Let's close this down. I'm going to take a very quick break here, bathroom break, and I will be back in just a moment. Alright, folks, I'm coming back in. Hang on one second. Let me just get around this corner here in the studio. Be back. Alright, guys. So I'm back. Had to take a quick bathroom break. And had to, obviously, as I'm addicted to some form of caffeine, had to make a cup of hot chocolate. So forgive me. How are you guys doing today? What's happening with you guys? Are you guys doing all right? The world treating you well or not? I don't know. Um, I can really only speak for myself. Although I can always do better with my health, I can honestly say that I'm enjoying having a ball doing the work that I've been doing recently, and I can't complain. I cannot complain. It's been an interesting run, and I'm looking forward to so many of the different things that are going down here. And let's see, let's go to Clip Studio Paint. Now, there's one thing I want to do here. I went to Clip Studio Paint because I want to draw something a little bit, and then I want to get to some other work. But there's some of that stuff I'll do off screen. But let me see one thing here. Let's go here. All right. Try to see one thingy here. All right. Let's see if this is streaming. It should be streaming. Okay, that's live now. That's good. All right, here we go. The only thing that's not happening here is there is no chat. Why is there no chat in this thing? All right. Let's go and try to sort out this chat thing. Shall we? Shall we try to sort out the chat? The chat, man. The chat, dude. Let's see which one is this. This is regular Dieselfunk. Dispatch. We need to go to Dieselfunk. Here we go. All right. Let's try to see what's going on with the chat here. So we go to stream settings, stream key, latency. Yeah, I don't see any issue there. Analytics. That looks good. Stream health. Health is great. Pop out dashboard. I don't know what that is. Let's go to settings. Let's see here. Let's go to settings. Settings. Overlay for break. No, just hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm trying to see if we can sort out this chat thing. Oh, I'm going to send feedback. Channel level settings? I don't understand what that is. Alright, let's close this. I don't know what in the world is going on. Lord. What in the world is going on? Let's see here. Add stream maker, create highlight video, start break, share. This has already been sharing here. So back to this. Nope. Don't want to cancel the stream. Webcam, manage. Let's see what manage is. This stream can be. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. I don't know what's going on with this. Let me go here one more time. All right, sending message to Dieselfunk Dispatch. Okay, nope. We're not going to do that. We're going to go to settings again. All right. So we got. Give me a moment to see if I can sort this out. Let's see if we can sort this out. So we go to edit. Nope. Dieselfunk dispatch is okay. Have the chat there available. Okay. Let me go back. Whoops. Go back here. Let's go to Dieselfunk. All right. Plugins, updates. Nope. Advanced. Okay. Audio. Smart guides. Transition user interface. Maybe that'll help. I don't know what that means. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to see. Let's see if this chat URL will work. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. If it won't, we're not going to worry about it, right? Instagram is not active tonight because I tried my best to make it work, and Instagram was like, "Hey, man, to hell with you. We're not doing it tonight." Anyway, all right. Top chat. Huh. That's weird. All right. So anyway, let's get back to here and get back to work. So we got Facebook here. You should be ready to rocketh and rolleth. Let me just check something here because I've been looking at the chat and this thing. So I think we're good there. Alrighty. So I do see my comments in Facebook. I do not see necessarily the comments, and you see something here in this thing, but I don't see it. The chat in this. Okay. Uh, alrighty. And try another minute that I will give to this. Start break. Highlight video. Add stream marker. Try one thing here. Nope. Yeah, folks, it's this chat thing is kicking my butt, and I just don't know what I'm doing here. That's what the issue is. Okay. Anyway, back to Clip Studio Paint, and the reason why I'm working with Clip Studio is Clip Studio Paint tends to be really good at at Clip Studio Paint tends to be really great at doing what I need. Let's see here. Okay, that's good. All right. So I thought I was okay there in Clip Studio Paint. It's zooming in for sure. All right, let's see. All right, don't know why that's messing up there a little bit, but we're not going to worry about it for now. Go back to Facebook. All right. Now, all right, here we go. So it's going to be a little weird here this time because kind of giving me a kind of a weird kind of anomaly here. This stuff, but let's move this around and see if we can get this thing to behave itself. There we go. Let's zoom in here. There we go. We're back to normal, I think. That was weird. Now, just so you guys know, one of the things here that I'm doing is I am absolutely utilizing uh, the drawings, but again, I don't want this stuff to look like it's straight. Um, AI output, I need it to look and appear to be variations on my drawings, but I also go in and add what I call analog effects. So these kind of highlights there sell the kind of hand-drawn imagery because it is hand-drawn, and it allows me to have a bit of the line work shows through the artwork. So we're going to go here just to give you guys an idea of what I'm doing here. So there's this guy's named Beauregard. He is a Confederate general that the story starts with, and he is in this carriage. And this is the only image I pretty much have of him. So to save time, I traced his image. Of course, I changed his hairline. Of course, here the hairline is on this side, but I changed it so that it's the other side and copy pasted that into this shot here. All right, now let's keep going here. So we're going to zoom in here. We're going to zoom in, man. Now, we could do this. We could say, and that's the thing about this carriage. You only really see this carriage in one place. So let's try something here. I mean, I drew all this stuff here with the side of the wheel. I mean, I really love that, but we gotta get stuff done. We can't be goofing around here, man. But only so much. So here's what I'm gonna do. All right. So I'm gonna take this image here, and we're gonna go here. That's black. This one will be white. I'm talking about the drawing. So as you can see here, as I'm drawing, this is what's coming out. Now, we got to be very careful with this because our software is bogging down a little bit. So I'm going to create a new layer. So we're saying this part here behind the seat of the driver is going to cover up part of his arm. Well, let's do it like this. There we go. Yeah, I like that. And take this here. There we go. See? There we go. So you see what's happening here? So this is the rider here. We'll have this be a slight leather. Right there, we'll take the bar here. Again, this stuff is not super duper accurate. It's accurate enough, but this is what we're going to do. See how I'm doing that? Keeping it real simple, real simple. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for heart. Not that my work is all that heartfelt, but we're trying to aspire to that. Okay, work with me here. Work with, not against. Now we're going to go here. All right. Now, I want to take this. See what's happening? This is where my man has the rope. Right? And then we can take this part here. Right? So we do this. There we go. Take this. Have that vest there. We'll put a little ascot there. Just a little bit. There we go. Button. There we go. Now watch this. So what we're doing here is we're doing stuff where we are, there we go, like that. All right. Guy sitting in the seat there. All right, whoops. We got the vest here. His vest should be, the driver's vest should come down here. There we go. All right. All right. Now, there we go. See? There we go. Put that there. Again, I want this thing to appear that it's like an old-fashioned drawing book. I want the drawings to look specifically high-tech. I want them to look like they were drawn in the previous century, which of course is probably not totally doable for me, but we'll do our best. There we go. Yes. All right, now let's put a little shadow underneath there. I could move that. I could erase that, but I won't bother, and I'll show you why in just a moment here. All right, there we go. There we go. Yes. A little darkness here. Put a little bit of stuff on the shoulder there. There we go. See? So all we're doing. And by the way, I would be terrified if I were doing this normally because I'm like, oh Lord, I gotta go this down, I gotta go through and color it, which is fine. That's why you hire colorists. But in my case, since I do everything by myself, I have to truthfully be, concerned about uh, being able to get the work done myself. Now, I'm gonna go here to my warp tool. Watch this. That knee could be a bit higher to sail the knee, so this is what I'm gonna do. See? So it sails it as a knee. So all I've got to do is just come back down here like that. See? That shadow there. Right? Pretty good. Pretty damn good, man. Pretty damn good. All right. Blacking that up. Okay, that's good. So we have our driver here. Right? I'm going to do one thing. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to put that shadow there to seal that driver sitting in the seat. There we go. All right? And I could also do this just for kicks. Just for kicks, man. Whoops. Take it easy, buddy. There we go. All right, good. So we got that. I'm going to go here. All right, now, I'm going to take this part here, little bar there. That bar goes right there. It's not necessarily accurate, but that's okay. I don't need it to be super accurate. I'm sorry. I think my wife is in there watching Love Island, which is quite disturbing, I think. All right, here we go. All right, now, put that up there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Bring that down. There we go. All right. So, okay, so we got that, right? So we have this happening. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Oops. Okay, so we got that separate. So this is the same. Okay, this and this are the same. So we're going to take this here. We're going to take these two. We're going to merge these layers together here, right? Now, here's where it's going to get a little weird. I'm going to take this image and I'm going to move this. It's going to be really, really weird. Because we can, let's take this here. So we know the wheel will probably, that's a little bit small there. Let's take it like that. Yep, that's pretty big. Ah, yes, I like that. I like that. See, that's hot. Now, watch what we're going to do here. So I'm going to take this. I like this because this allows the part of the wheel to be so it sets that he's sitting in the back. Yes, the perspective accuracy is off. There's no question of that, right? But I'm like Michael Golden with that type of stuff. Golden draws stuff, and the gun's a little bit too big, cars a little bit too big or too small. I mean, the dude built his career doing that type of thing. I love Michael Golden's work, right? Not that I am Michael Golden. Let me just be very clear on it. All right, so watch this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to pull this down, see? And then we're going to put that right there, just like that. So that's what that's doing is selling the fact that he is in the carriage, right? Yep, I like that. That's not bad. Now, I'll do this. Here's where it's going to get a little weird. There we go. Yeah, I like it. There we go. There we go. All right. Let me move this over here a little bit. Go back to chat. Whoa, what is going on there? It got me signed into YouTube. What is going on there? What is going on? What's happening? Okay, everything is still visible. I guess. Yes, it's still visible. I don't worry about it for now, but I had to have a sip of cocoa. Have a sip of cocoa, baby. Cocoa. All right, let's see here. Bing, 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 bing. I don't know what's going on there. Close that. All right, my chat looks and it still appears to be going well on Dieselfunk dispatch, but it is not going on Dieselfunk. Don't worry, I'm gonna sort this chat stuff out eventually. It's weird, man. You think you got it on handle, and then you find out you don't have it, but it's okay. Let me do this here. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Okay, don't know why that is happening, but you know what? We're not gonna worry about that for right now. We ain't worried about that crap. Okay. So we know this is going. Okay. All right. So we're good here. Now, and it's almost 8:57. I'm gonna get ready to shut down a little bit because we've been going at this a little bit. But I do want to do this. Let's do this. I don't know. Oh no. All right. Okay. So that's good. I think that is good. So we're going to now take this. The wheel is there. I think I can live with this thing here. Actually, even though that's not there, let's do this. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one here. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I like that. Oh, that's great. That's great. Let's make that shadow there a little bit deeper. Yes, close enough. Now let's take the shadow here. There we go. I don't know, but let's see here. We might be okay. Yes. That looks like he's in the back of that carriage. He looks a little bigger, but you know what? What the hell? We'll be all right. So we've got that. Let me just erase a little bit on the here on this layer. See, just to kind of clean that edge up there. Because we'll have to paint over some of this stuff here. All right, now let's take this down just a little bit. And I'll explain to you why we got to take that down, because there has to be a border there. All right, not bad. Now we're going to take this here, take our selection tool here, and cut that off. Just underneath there. Ah, yeah, good. All right, got that done. Now, just so I can sell the idea, I'm going to, okay, we got that. I'm going to take this here. I'm just going to take a thinner brush, and I'm using a textured brush for this. And you know, it's getting bogged down a little bit. So let's do this here. What I'll do over the next few minutes is I will just take this image here. I'm going to take this image. I'm going to finish it, and I might run it through VizCom tonight so I can get some stuff done tomorrow. The objective, we have a letterer who's working with us, and I want to make sure that letterer has something this week. We do generally have a meeting on Wednesday, but you know, it's like I got to get the work done here, because after a while we're having 15 different meetings, and it's like it's just not necessarily helpful for me to continue meeting and not turning in finished pages. So that's the goal here. That's the goal, man. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. That shadow there. There we go. So that underneath, and we even put it shadow here as well. All right. There we go. All right. Now take this. All righty. There we go. Now I'm gonna actually, let me take this here and move this up a little bit. I'll explain to you why in just a second. So I'm gonna do this. All right, because we want a little bit of that road there. All right, there we go. See, a little bit better there. I mean, perspective's a little weird, but that's okay. We don't care about such things here. I mean, we should care about perspective, but you know, work with me. Work with, as I said, not against. Ah, see? Ah, I knew that. I knew that was going to work out. I didn't know that was going to work out. All right, there you go. See? So this right here is where we're continuing to sell that this character, this Beauregard, is in the back of this. Yes, I like that. I like that. That is very, very much very cool. And of the time, let me take just a little bit of a delineation line here. There we go. See? And I'll do the same thing here so that there's some separation between the carriage and the tree here behind. So that's good. I like that. I think that's very cool. I think it's very hot. Let's do this here. Okay. So we will call this particular image done. How? Now what we've got to do is this. Here we go. Here's the moment of truth. You ready, guys? Now, to color this would probably take another, just the color in Photoshop. You can flag it, but an hour to get the textures and the tones right and all that type of stuff. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here. We're going to draw our bounding box around our thingy here. All right, we now have a image that has been captured. Now we're going to go back to Safari, if I can see. This is why it's helpful to have your glasses along with you. It's helpful to have the glasses. All right. There we go. So let's see here. We got that. I'm liking it. All right, now we're going to Safari. Yes. All righty. Good. All right, let's go back to VizCom. So now we're going to go here. We're going to leave this. Go back to our web space here. I'm going to eventually have to move all these guys here into its own thing. VizCom started Studio. As a matter of fact, hold on. Before I do that, let me do this. Let me go back. Let me cancel this. We're going to go back to Workspace. Right? We want to open this up. And what I'm going to do here, when I do this, I'm going to copy that prompt, written prompt. And the reason why is because I want to see if it's possible to keep the continuity going, right? So before we do that, I'm going to go here. We now want to drag and drop. We're not exporting any video. Let's stop that. All right, now we're going to go here to Finder. And we're going to come down to Recent. We should have, here it is. There it is. All right, where are we going? There we go. Drop your files. There it is. All right, so that's in there. Victorian man in a Confederate Army double-breasted coat sitting in a carriage facing left. Yes, or is it facing right? Next to another figure, behind, not next, behind sitting in a carriage facing left behind another figure sitting and holding the reins of the carriage. See, now this is art. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's not an art. It is an art. All right, now before I do that, hit enter. I'm going to now post in my other prompt below that, right? The carriage rides down a tree-lined path. All right, we're going to take out, there we go. Sunny cinematic photo reel. So you see that? All right, let's see what happens. Here we go. We're hitting that. We're generating. We're generating. Let me just check my comments while that is rendering. All right, I don't see any. I see my friend there sending me ridiculous uh, threads, ridiculous comments. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to go over to Tim Fielder, see if there are any comments there. All right. Oh, somebody has said, okay, let's go here. Hmm. All right, don't know what's happening there. Not going to worry about it, but what is this? Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow. Okay. Not bad. Uh, that was interesting. That one's interesting. I like this one. Uh, huh. I think we're going to stick with this one. We're going to add that one. Interesting. Let's, that's, I'm glad I added it, but let's do this. Sitting in a, sitting in a covered carriage. Another figure, an African, gotta tell it, American man. Okay, all right. I'm gonna say sunny with tree shadows. Okay, let's see what happens now. That was pretty good for a first try. And sometimes you got to really go in and do some serious touch up to this stuff, but that's okay. Hmm. Whoa. They turned a guy into a black guy. Wow. Holy smokes. Wow. That's crazy. A Victorian man and a Confederate, another figure. I'm going to take out African American man because we don't want it to get confused. You know how they get. You know how they do. That's funny. That's funny. All right. I think he's white again. Let's see what happens. Okay. 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 Nope. Nope. Still rendering? No. I think that right there works best. So we're going to add this. Okay. Now we're going to close this because we have to do some touch up here. So watch this. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to zoom in on this. Now I could do a lot of this in Photoshop, but why bother when we know all we got to do is just hit it with a little bit of hit it. There we go. There we go. That guy has a big head. Doesn't he have a big head? All right, let's try this here. Let's take this. There we go. Let's take that a little bit lighter there, right there. All right, now watch this. I'm going to take another layer here, but this time I'm going to do this. I'm going to cover a little bit of his face here. And I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to see. Now, this is going to be really, really weird, but work with me on this. But this is the magic of what you can do when you can still paint. All right. Now I'm going to take the opacity down on that. Hold on. What's going on here now? What's going on here, buddy? Oh, crap. Look what I did. See, can we undo that? I hate it when that happens. I hate it when that happens, man. I did not mean to do that, but I did do it. So, let me take this here. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if this will work. That might work, might not work. Let me turn this off for now, because that's pretty disturbing. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to turn this one off again. I want to try to see what we can do here. See if what we get here. Again, just going from the raw. I'm going to turn off the other images there and see what happens if we start from scratch. Hmm. Okay. A Victorian man in a computer sitting underneath a canopy of a carriage. All right, let's try it now. Generate again. So, like with Runway, I didn't really pay the bill. I just, I just using the free credits. This I paid for. No, it's what's happening is confused by that open gate there. All right, it's 9:17. It's bound to run a little long here. Uh, no, no, this one maybe, that one maybe. All right, let's add this. Turn that off. So here it is. Now we're going to move this here. We're going to see what we see. We're going to see what we can do. Now I got to go here. Oops. Use the eraser there. Actually, hang on a second. Let's go back here. All right, there, I should have done that to begin with. Now I'm sitting here realizing it. Should have done that to begin with, but okay. All right, now we're going to take this down here a bit. Now I'm going to erase parts I don't want out. All right, let's move this back up. There we go. All right. All right. Take this here. All right. There we go. Now we just need to take that little gray there. Now you might look at this and go like, okay, why is he repainting this? I'm painting this because I don't want. There we go. All right, that's good there. Now let's generate this. Now that may have been good enough, but probably not. All right, hang on. Oh wow, that's interesting. So the back is good, but the all right. Let's go here. Let me do this. Let me take a little white. There we go. All right. I'll leave the pants gray there. There we go. All right. Now we're going to take a little brown here because it's supposed to be a black man. There we go. Oops. There we go. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to see. There we go. All right. Let's see what happens now. Well, hold on. One last thing. So you can see here, I'm kind of like painting in the guy's vest. Oops. Wish there was a smudge tool on this, but whatever. All right. Let's generate this here. Let's see what happens. Ah, yes. Leave it to my friend. Okay. My friend makes a comment. He has to come in and make his little snide comments. Alternate where black people were in charge, and they were for a second there. Absolutely. Ah, yes. Leave it to my friend. Okay, let me turn it off here. Actually, they were in charge for a second there during Reconstruction. But then that brought on from Jim Crow. Sort of like what's happening today. Uh, we have to laugh at sometimes about situations. All right, so that's interesting. Hey, look at that! I wasn't even paying attention to the rendering. That's not terrible. Look at that. Look at that. Huh. Interesting. I like, I especially like that one. This one is the one. That's the one. And that's the one we're going to watch. What I'm going to do here, guys. I could render and make this part of the file and we'll add it. But what I will do instead is download it directly. I'm going to download that image directly. You'll see what happens here in just a moment. Okay, I'm not sure if that downloaded there. All right, we can export this image here. All right. All right, let's see here. Let's export this image. I don't know if that's going to work. If it did, maybe it downloaded 2 or 3 times, but we're going to see here in just a moment. Nope. It downloads. Oh, no, that is it. A Victorian man in the tree line path. There we go. All right, let's see what happens here. Let us see what happens. Whoops, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to Clip Studio Paint. Ah, there we go. Yes, I like that. Weird kind of thing happening with his hand there, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's see here, because we're going to do it like this. We're going to take this. We're going to go, we're going to select right there. Yes. We're going to hit Command C. And then we're going to go here. Now, because that is a layer there. Yep. Hit Command V. There we go. Command T. Gonna drop that down in size there. See? See what's happening? See what's happening, dude? Dudes? Dudes, man? Man. Alright. Yep. Oh, that flipped. I took that a little bit too far, but it's okay. Absolutely powerful tool. No question about it. There we go. Alright, now watch this. We're going to turn this into a, let's accept this here. We're going to multiply this. And you'll see what's going to happen in just a moment. Multiply. Alright, let's take this. We're going to do this right there. Let's hold on here for a second. There we go. Alright, now let's take this one here. Let's bring this down a little bit. Yep. There we go. Now that's kind of cool there, even though his nose is a little weird, but there are some things we can do with this. So we take these, let's roll here underneath this. This is where things get interesting. So I have this image here. I'm going to take this image. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit Command U. Now you can't see it now, but I'm going to take the luminosity up to 1. Right? So you can see here, that image there is multiplied. We want to set this to normal. Right? You see what's happening there? See what's happening? So this image here is multiplied. So we got that. Yep, that's looking interesting. Looking interesting. Man, look at that. Look at that shot. Look at that shot. And there are all kinds of other interesting things we can do with this, right? So I go here and let me not make that a multi, let me make that a normal. Now watch what I'm going to reduce the resolution on that. See? These are all the kinds of things we can do, right? And I may go back and change and alter this, but it's a start. All right. So it is now 9:28. Again, I want to thank you guys for being with me tonight again. This is the second night of our second week, and what can I say? It has been an absolute pleasure to rock with you guys. I still got it because I'm sitting here looking at the pins here. It's still a little off, but it's okay because I think I can make it work, man. I think I can make it work. At any rate, I want to thank you guys for 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 rocking with me, for at least feigning interest in what I'm doing. I want to thank my brother and my friend Mark for getting on me, which they did so brutally. And thank God they did that, or I would not be doing this today. And thank you guys so much. The Dieselfunk Dispatch is out. We will do what we got to do. And let me just play this music here a little bit because this is always my outro. All right. So that's me. I'm Tim Fielder, graphic novelist, visual Afrofuturist. My brother's Boston Fielder, musician, dude. Go to Bandcamp to buy his stuff. You can buy my books at Dieselfunk.com. That's Infinitum, an Afrofuturist tale, Maddie's Rocket, and the graphic history of hip hop that I wrote with my writing partner, Walter Grayson. I am working on continuous books. I am enjoying this process every night, rocking with y'all. I hope y'all enjoying rocking with me. In the meantime, stay out of trouble. Be kind and gentle with one another. Spread as much love as you can, because Lord knows we need as much love as we can get. Infinitum, an Afrofuturist tale. Maddie's Rocket, the graphic history of hip hop. Come back tomorrow. I normally start up between 7 and 9, but I'm trying to keep it around between 7 and 8 at least, because I don't want to go on too late. Love you guys.